All right, good morning. Good morning. October 21st, 2021. All right. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Brew. So, a lot to cover today. Um, wowzer, wowzer, wowzer. What an incredible week. I'm going to start off with this chart right here, and this is what we have to pay attention today. Yields are creeping up. So, I've talked about this all week. Yields are creeping up 16669. That's usually not good for tech. The good news is that it is going to, well, bad news is it is bringing tech down. So you have to watch it. It's going to bring stuff down. However, it's not bringing it down hard. So we're still in an up cycle. And I'm going to show you this, for example, when I start going into the setups for today. So if we're looking at the dailies, you have to realize that this is the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and Russell on dailies. We have fresh set of MACDs. Again, we're probably in the middle of it, and we're near the top here. So the S&P 500 pretty much has gone up. All right, what's going to happen here? We probably need to pull back a little bit, and I think that it coincides with the yields going up that we're probably going to pull back a little bit, but we're still in an up cycle. We're not bearish yet, right? So that's not there. So Nasdaq as well. We avoided these head and shoulders. Nasdaq actually flirted with that and is going up. Momentum is going up. All right, Russell. Again, this is textbook. If you follow me, you'll see that this is the opportunity here that you would have taken on the upside. Why do we use MACDs? Is because it helps us avoid FOMO trading. You don't want to get into the trade at the end of the MACD coming down. But in the beginning, it's all good. But we're coming to the top. Now, it's not going to, I'm not saying we're going to beeline it up there. We're not. We're going to have some movements on the way up there. But so far, we're in an up cycle on the dailies. Now, let's dive in. Okay, let's dive in because there's a lot to cover today. As far as the fangs, all the fangs. So this is daily. App, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. I just put Beyond Meat because there was an extra space. But Facebook is the only one not trading above the 50-day moving average. It's above the 200. Apple's above the 200 the 50-day. Amazon above the 50-day. Netflix above the 50-day. Google above the 50-day. So Apple's the only one, which is positive. Now, are they going to bring techs down? More than likely, yes. So, uh, just see how far it goes. But so far, we need to pull back because these things have been running and they announce earnings next week. All right, so let me give you my thoughts on earnings next week. So, what I'm going to do moving forward, because this is going to be a little fast. Okay, so now let's start here where we always start. I'm going to turn this off because this is a distraction. But you're not going to see, and welcome to the Morning Brew. But let's get started. Let's find out where the opportunities lie. Okay, so video, let's stop that. All right, let's get going. So the first part is the S&P 500. E-minis right now are sitting at 45.15, which is normal. Yields we had an incredible rally. So just to watch the last 3 days, this last 3 weeks, we've been rallying as there's weakness occurring, which is normal, but this is somewhat of a divergent. We had a major run off the lows. Beautiful run. However, are we going to open lower? So we're still in the up cycle. The bottom here, this range of yesterday was 45.24. The futures right now 45.15. We closed at 45.36. More than likely, we're probably going to open up a little lower, and I wouldn't be surprised if we go down to maybe 4,500, which is normal. It looks tired. We need to rest. And yesterday, I told you we looked a little top heavy. And are we going to break the 50? More than likely, yes, right? So we're going to be flirting with the 50, and it's healthy for us to pull back a little bit. Okay, so there'll be some trades there if you want to take the trade from the 50 down, but wait for the setup. I like the setup is the MACDs coming to the zero and bouncing down. Wait for the dead cat bounce or what's called the bull trap, right? They're trapping the bulls, but you do not want to get into a long position at this moment. All right, unless we start breaking some highs, which on the top we look like we have this 45.40 is pretty strong. All right, so again, watch that. All right, Nasdaq again. We saw weakness yesterday, and with the yields going up, this is going to go down. Now we're sitting right below the 50. More likely, we're probably going to retest at 15,330. If it goes lower, we're going to 15,152. Okay, Russell again loves higher yield, so this is actually looks positive, and we're going to be looking for this one. It's pulling back a little bit as well. Let's see how it reacts here at this 50-day moving average at 2283. Uh, but again, let it go lower. Wait for the proper setups. More likely, we can get all three. That's great. And then you have targets on the upside. The beautiful thing about markets going up and then pulling back, that gives you a target for the upside. Okay. All right. So that's what we have. Now, as far as earnings report, what I'm realizing the theme here is that the market is carefully observing the earnings report, right? It's kind of like we had two amazing earnings report with Netflix and Tesla. So these companies not only met expectations, they actually beat expectations. Okay, so and they haven't gone up. The market has not taken it up, maybe because they had a run pre earnings run, and maybe that's the case, or it looks like the market is expecting that. They're expecting. So what's the theme moving forward? And what I mean by that is the market going to now expect that? So if you announce earnings, you have to not just meet expectations, you have to beat it. So what would happen to the companies that just meet expectations? Are going to drive it down? Possibly. So we're gonna figure out. I think next week is gonna be key for the overall markets and what to see moving forward. So we're gonna pay close attention to what words and verbiage they use. The other thing that I'm saying with the semiconductors is that so far we had two earnings report with LRCX and ASML, and these guys make the machines that make the chips. They sell to Nvidia and the other chip manufacturers. Now they're having pretty much strong demand but no supply. They don't have the parts to make the machines. So let's walk through this process a little bit. So strong demand, no supplies. Okay, well that's a problem, right? Because they don't have enough to sell. So okay, so moving forward, what's going to happen to NVIDIA and all the other chip manufacturers? Are they going to drop? So we're going to be looking for those. I think that's going to be the common theme moving forward as far as like all the others, right? So it's just like a trickle down effect, right? So rates are going down, they're taking techs down, right? Uh, so let's walk through this process about the chips. They make the chips, so they can't get the parts to make the machine to make the chips. You can't make the chips, so how do you get the chips for the products you're going to sell? So there we go. So I think that's the common theme there, and we'll see. So we'll be looking at a couple of the chip manufacturers. Are they going to beat expectations? More than likely, probably not. So that might be a potential play for puts, right? So we're going to be looking at those. But let's dive in. So now we gave you the market posture on the S&P and the NASDAQ and the Russell. So Alphabet is driving lower, going lower, going lower. Let it drop, let it drop, let it drop. Now this was a play. So now when we look back in a closer press, a longer the last 3 days, we see where the levels are at, right? So we see that we've had this amazing rally. We're going to be looking to see how it reacts at 2821. It possibly can go down to 2800, right? Because it likes these levels, but let it drop, let it drop. It's probably going to come back. Let's see what the MACDs react at 0, if it comes up to the 50, and does it come back down? Because they're driving techs down, higher yields, remember. So no play in Google right now. Just let it drop, stock it, because this can also reverse the other way. All right. So, but right now it's just pulling back. All right. Amazon again had a monster rally. And again, guys, things can't go up forever. It needs to take some time and pull back. As you saw, we saw weakness here in Amazon. Look at the MACDs. The MACDs told you something was cooking. We're hitting top heavy, and we broke below the 50. So it's below the 0 line. So now this is bearish. Let's see what happens when it breaks above the 50. Does it come back up, hit the 50, and come back down? and hit the zero line and come back down. That could be a possible play for the downside if the markets pull back. If these pull back, these might be plays for the downside. Now, Tesla's very interesting. Tesla, again, monster rally, right? So this is what I mean. Going into earnings, they rallied up. Now, 880 is going to be super strong for Tesla. Even though, I mean, if you heard the earnings report, Tesla rocked it, killed it. They have an amazing funnel moving forward. I mean, when I read I mean, here it is. Amazing reports, and they're not taking it up, right? And it has monster upgrades galore. So I mean, the company just doesn't seem like it can do no wrong. It's got, I mean, multiple things. I mean, great margins. I mean, better margins than GM and the other manufacturers. I mean, I think it's at 28% per car. Their new battery tech. Also, they're creating a charging network. So I mean, insurance, multiple, great funnel. So so they're going to probably drive it up. What I expect in Tesla today, as far as momentum trade, I probably expect that they're going to drive it back up to here. So a trade maybe possibly back up to the 50-day moving average. And then what happens there is probably going to drop and let it drop. So if it drops, right, if the MACDs go back up and let it drop, but key area here as far as like catching the uh, the bear trap, right? It's here, right here. We're gonna be looking at this area right here of 860, and then there's gonna be another one right here of. So we have a couple of areas, 865, and then 869, and this is where the bears who went short are need to cover. So if we get there, start popping, MACD starts turning, this is probably going to see a pop. Now, is it going to be a sustainable pop? I'm not sure there. I'm not sure. So we're only looking in the 50-minute time frame, but more likely, just watch Tesla for maybe a reaction here because it's starting to look like it might pop, and I think investors are going to process the information I just covered with you. But if it drops to 800, I'll probably be looking to add positions for a retirement account. Okay, because I like what I'm hearing, and I think that Tesla more than likely down the road is going to do very well. All right, so ISRG, um, again, had earnings, and they didn't take it down. They tried to take it down, but very volatile here. So a lot of investors got caught in the whipsaw action here. And again, if it doesn't make sense to you, don't need to get into it. There's so many other things that are making sense. And again, we're just trying to put some structure to our trades. So key levels here, let it drop, let it come up above 341 if it's going to pop. We're looking pretty bullish. It looks like it's setting up. And the upper levels here, we have this 345 again. So 342 to 345. And what else do we have over here? We have these levels here of 346. So it just announced a certain stock split. So just watch it, give it some time. But it's short-lived. It's probably going side. There's probably more whipsaw action moving forward. Now, Chipotle announces earnings today. What's going to happen? Are they going to say the same thing Domino's did? And we're talking about this for a while. The market thinks so. The market does think so. So they're driving it down. So what does that mean? Are they going to be dealing with supply chain issues? How about wage issues? Because that's the common theme. The theme across the board is higher inflation, the higher cost of goods, wage issues. Um, you know, so yeah. So watch Chipotle. Are they going to take it back down to 1778? We're currently at 1823. So look for it. Again, it's a 50-50 chance when it comes to earnings. So if you're going to trade it, trade it with amazing money management skills or any of the available strategies out there to make your strategy get the higher probability strategy, like bull call spreads or any spreads, butterflies, or anything like that. That's what would be my recommendation to it. And if you don't know it, then that's cool. Probably wait and sit this one out. Okay, so now we have MicroStrategy. Again, Bitcoin is pulling back like expected. Not a major pullback. It does need to pull back. It's at 64,000. We hit a high around 66, 67. So MicroStrategy is just waiting. If Bitcoin pops here through, I think we're going to see MicroStrategy come through, and it is setting up here. So this is all dependent on MicroStrategy. Some people ask me about Myra and Riot, and again, same type of thing. You're all dependent on what Bitcoin does. So that's going to be your barometer as far as Bitcoin. But what I'm noticing on momentum swings here is that so we're going to be looking at this 777, great number. There's another area here at 758. So look for see what happens here. Can this thing turn? Right now, momentum is going downward. We saw weakness here, and is Bitcoin going to start going higher? I think we might have one more pop in Bitcoin, and then it's going to pull back a little bit. But can this go higher? So watch MicroStrategy for that setup. Shopify again, higher rates, monster rally. Again, it does need to pull back. We saw some weakness here at this 1500. We were warned yesterday not to take. Remember, this is FOMO buying, and we don't like to FOMO buy, but it's pulling back. It's starting to gain some strength here. Can it pull back? So we're kind of going sideways right now. I think wait for a clear direction with the MACD and a bounce, or if you feel comfortable trading these, but right now we're probably going to take some rest. All right, Netflix again, monster rally. Does it have 4 to 6 weeks? So usually when a company has earnings and it doesn't drive it a great earnings and it doesn't go up, it usually rests about 4 to 6 weeks before it starts moving higher. So are we gonna have that? We see this key level here of 637, 639. Write that in, but that's a very strong level, meaning that there's a lot of supply there. So until it overtakes that with demand, but Netflix is working lower. Let's see what happens right now. Let's see if it can take out the 637. But if they take it lower, right, this 620 is going to drive it lower. Again, we're really close to the we're really close here for a setup to the downside, or is it just going to linger here? Roku, they're taking Roku down. Again, I told you 350, super strong. 350, put that in your book. They're taking Roku down. So, we had these moves here. If you're trading Roku, a 15-minute chart, look at the MACDs. A MACD is going to give you a clue of what it's going to do. You can also use it for other time frames, but in this time frame, we have what's called, this is also a double top, a break of 343, and we're down. Okay, so how low is it going to go? We don't know. Just let it drop. We know that there was demand at 323. Are they going to take it back down to 323 and then drive it back up? So it's good to know those levels. Let it drop. Okay, but we're seeing weakness here, and it's conjunction of the 50-day. So now look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA with the chips, right? So NVIDIA, that's not good news for NVIDIA, because if the manufacturers of the machines that make the chips can't get the parts and make chips and meet demand, then that's going to drive pretty much everybody else down. So NVIDIA is seeing that weakness. We couldn't get above that 224. We noticed that with the news coming out, it looks like investors are getting hip to that idea, and it's probably going to drive it back down. So we're going to be looking at the other chip makers as well. So because that might be some good put plays. Mercado Libre, monster rally. Again, monster rally, went up. There's hard levels here at 1606. That's hard level, loss supply there. So what's going to happen here? We don't know. It's kind of going sideways. So if you want to trade it between these levels, that's fine. But if how does it affect higher yields? How does that affect Mercado Libre, which is the Amazon of South America? But just watch it, and see there might be a play to 1580 if this starts breaking down. So if this starts breaking down, or does it bounce higher? We're still below zeros, which is bullish, or does it go higher? So watch these levels. If it starts breaking this 1615 and 1619, or you can take the trade from here to there if it starts going higher. Okay, so that might be a trade, or if it starts going lower, then this might be the trade down to 1582. So you have two trades right there. All right, Apple. Again, with the chip makers, is that going to affect Apple moving forward? Even though they've been driving Apple up, Apple's taking a breather right at that 149 area. 149. So it's just taking a break. So, we've been rallying on Apple all week or last couple of weeks. Let's see what happens here. It looks like it wants to turn here, but let's see how it takes out this 149.10, or is it going to trade sideways? Again, they announce earnings next week. Oil, again, oil's been going up. So again, I've been giving you these levels. There was a trade yesterday at after lunch. You couldn't take that trade and up to the previous day's high. So are we going to get those robust moves? No, where the market's kind of top heavy and it's a little tired. Okay, so let's look at UPSD or at Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is working lower, and it's normal. That's just normal. Goldman Sachs has had a nice rally, just pulling back, and so let's see what happens here. Investors locked in gains, and the key levels we're going to be looking at here. Let it drop. Is trying to rally. Let's see what happens. How it reacts to the 50. If it pulls back, breaks these highs, and starts going higher, might be a play for the upside of 414 and 416. I think that was where it stopped. Affirm is looking better, right? A lot of volatile, very volatile. So Affirm, with Affirm, it's looking okay. It looks like it wants to open up higher. Let's see if it can take out this 150 area, bounces up here, and can it start rallying upwards here? Maybe 153. We have this level here, 158. So I'm gonna watch it at the open and see how it reacts. Upstart. Okay, so the word I was looking for yesterday is secondary, a secondary offering. So you have to be careful with Upstart and a secondary offering, because if they do that, it's going to drive the stock down. So far, it's pulling back. It's pulling back. This might be a play here. Let's see how it reacts. If it can take out this 362 or 362, starts breaking the 50, bouncing off here, bouncing, and go higher, then we have 368 to the upside, and we have this 389 to the upside. So you have some money to make there if it starts going higher. HubSpot, just watching it, is a little top heavy. We had a nice rally here, just observing it. Just wait and see on that. Moderna. So here's the thing on Moderna. I just did some research, and so Moderna, whether you like vaccines or not, news came out with the Moderna and BNTX that the boosters, so they have, out of 10,000 boosters, only 5 people were infected. And that's the report that's coming out. It's not in the news, but I'm looking at that. But is that going to drive into the stock price as some way, shape, or form? So I'm just looking at Moderna and seeing if there's a potential play to the upside here. Okay, but just watching it. As you can tell, Lam Research, the chips, look how they're driving it down. So is this going to start trickling down into the other chip manufacturers? Possibly. All right, that's all I have. Moving forward, I know this was a little bit of a longer one than usual, but all right, guys, stay tuned. If you like my stuff, press that like button, notify me. I'm gonna start doing we have some movers here and some plays, potential plays. So give me a like, give me a love, give me a hate, whatever you want. Give me something. All right, guys, stay frosty, stay green, and let's go get it. All right.